Welcome, Jesters. I don't know if any of you saw the video that was going around, since a few days ago about the two dads who created a baby through surrogacy, and it was asking for mama, and they were saying some things. I did not watch the whole video, but I saw some comments on it, but it doesn't really matter. It's back, the whole surrogacy thing. So I figure I might as well give my current thinkings on this because they are the correct ones. All right, as for surrogacy in general, I don't feel strongly enough about it to make it illegal, but I guess I would be suspicious, right? Not suspicious enough to ban it, just suspicious of its overall benefit to society. I know how that sounds, but, it's all science. It's all science. It feels too scientific. And, I can say this because it will never really affect me, but, parents, I know it's tragic and sad, but if you want to be parents and you are just unable to do this naturally, there's so many other ways to use that energy for the betterment of society and, kids that really need parents. That's pretty much what I'll say about that. Well, probably not, but anyway. As for gay surrogacy, well, honestly, I'm actually more suspicious about that. Maybe, again, not to the level of making it illegal, but I will just say that it's not our place. It's really not our place to use science to create life or to create a baby. I just find it a little bit unseemly, right? And mostly because it is all science. I don't want to say it feels unnatural, but that's not what we were made for, right? And I just think that there's other ways that, homosexuals can become effectively parents without going through what feels like an unnatural path. I think you all know what I mean. So, now this is, of course, going to lead to the question again, because this always comes up after something like this, gay adoption. Well, yes, gays should be able to adopt children, right? There should be no law that prevents this or anything like that. But I have said this before, and I'll just say there should be an absolute order for adoption, right? There's kids that need parents, and the qualifications should be based on, a specific and immovable order. And only when the first group of people is completely exhausted, or kid sadly maybe have been rejected for whatever reason, then you move on to, the next group of potential adopted parents. And top of the list should always be, and I can't imagine why people would argue about this, but it shouldn't be. The top of the list will be married heterosexual couples, preferably married heterosexual couples already with kids. They would probably be the best place to, place an adopted child. After that, widowers, really, who may have, men who may have wanted children, and sadly they find themselves in that position, and if they wanted kids before, then this is maybe their opportunity. After that, single fathers. Who knows what happened in the marriage? Maybe it just didn't work out. But if they are successfully already raising children, then that is a good indicator that they will be good adoptive parents as well. And then after that, after we've exhausted the pool of married straight couples, widowers, single fathers, then we can talk about stable gay couples. Maybe ones that, I'll say this, have one of the previous two, right? Men sometimes discover things late in life. They already have kids. And, they're already fathers. So, maybe they qualify for adoption based on the other two. But I think that would be perfectly fine environment to raise a child. And then finally, everybody else, right? And I know people could argue about what order they go in, but I really think that after you've exhausted those, there probably won't be much need for, anybody else. But, as for gay surrogacy, I just find it a little bit unseemly. It's not really our purpose. And if you do want kids and, there are other ways to, be a parental figure for people. Make up with family members, right? Siblings, cousins, people that, have kids on their own. You can participate, in their upbringing, be the crazy uncle, be the fun uncle, be the one that takes them to Disney World and things like that. You can also just provide financial support, be in their lives, give them a different perspective and all that. There's ways that we can, be in a parental role without actually being parents ourselves. But and as for the case, well, I'd say as for the case of maybe a gay couple wanting to create a child with a friend naturally, go for it. Do it. If that's what you want to do, then I really have no objection to that. We are otherwise fully functional, and if you want to go that route, that's fine. But these engineered babies, I don't know. It still just doesn't settle well with me. There's other ways to benefit society that I would prefer. Right? Maybe ways that I've chosen myself. So that's it. Oh, and by the way, for our friends on the left, that clearly would be super supportive of this, of gays creating engineered babies. If we can scientifically create life, then that means we are creating life, and that also means it's always been alive, right? Yeah, it is. The baby has always been alive. I'm right.